Herzlich willkommen in unserer Sendung Diplo.international oder sogar Diplo.international, in der wir Botschafterinnen und Botschafter interviewen. Heute interviewen wir den Botschafter der Vereinigten Arabischen Emirate, Herr Botschafter Ahmed Alattar. Herzlich willkommen. Der Botschafter spricht eigentlich sehr gut Deutsch, davon konnte ich mich schon überzeugen, aber wir sprechen lieber auf Englisch heute. Und I just want to ask you, you are so young, what is your age and how did you start your career as an ambassador in one of the most important cities of the world? And how can you speak German?
Thank you. I'm 38. I've been in this job for a year. And, my own languages require that you have the support of the people that you, around you, your environment to practice, the opportunity, and the openness to practice. I think that's, and that's true for German, that's true for any other language. I think that, especially for us in the UAE, the theme of youth is a very important theme, and younger officials are usually given a chance to play very important roles, and to be here in this very important country is a fantastic opportunity, which I'm very grateful for.
Is it very difficult to be an ambassador in Germany? Is it some sort of a culture shock?
Well, I appreciate and I'm a deep admirer of Germany. So I never experienced any cultural shock. My wife is from here. I have an extended family in Berlin. So I'm very much a Berliner as well.
Okay, wonderful.
So there was basically no adjustment for me. I feel very much at home here, as I feel in my home, Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE.
Okay. Now let's talk about your Abu Dhabi and your home country. But before we start talking about the Emirates are the venue for COP28. This is the climate conference, World Climate Conference of United Nations. Will start in short time. Can you tell us why are the Emirates the host of this big conference, and what is the main issue?
I think we are an ideal host of this conference because of, I think it's a global hub for millions of people. 5 billion people are 8-hour flight away from the UAE, first of all, so logistics are great. Other than that, we're one of the biggest investors in renewables in the world. We're planning to expand this investment, and we're going through a transition ourselves. And it's important for us to bring all of the stakeholders which we have relationships with, all of the countries of the world which we have established relations with. We don't have a single country in the world with which we don't have political relations. And we cannot say that for all places which might be as equally good to host a COP. So bringing people together, being a melting pot for different countries and different groups is why the UAE was selected. And I think, we're very much passionate about the subject of climate change, because in the Gulf, if you don't have a significant change in policy and CO2 emissions, is one of the most threatened areas in the world of climate change.
How many nations will be represented in the conference?
Well, the UNFCCC, through its instruments, will represent 192 nations, but also international organizations, youth movements. These are as important as the countries there. Indigenous groups, for example, which are often not heard out and not represented, will be part of COP28, and they must be part of COP28 because we would love to have a COP28 which is inclusive. As the UAE, as a convener hub, how we are perceived is also extremely important to us. And that's why we want this COP to be a success, like Expo 2020 was a success for us.
And what is the contribution of the Emirates regarding the climate change? Emirates are known for oil and gas and being a rich country, but you also want to be a leader, worldwide leader in renewable energies. How?
Well, I would say on the flip side, many European countries are known for using coal and are rich countries as well. But what I'm trying to say is that we, all of us together, have to get towards a place where our energy consumption allows us to have our climate goals reached. So it's a transition process that all of us have to do together. And we have to learn from Europe's challenges with this. As much as Europe, we may have something to give to Europe in terms of our energy transition. Today, we are the biggest global investor in renewables, and we are heavily involved in solarization of our electricity grid. We had the highest percentage of solar use in the world. Was it the UAE last August? 60%. And we're very proud of that. And we'd like to push that figure up further and further and further, because it makes today economic sense to go green. And that's our central kind of argument as the UAE. Let's let the markets work, let's let technology work. Let's not have artificial things in place that are going to destroy economic growth. But actually, let's make alternative sources of energy cheaper and easier to use than any fossil fuel, oil, gas, coal.
Tell us something about your country. There are 10 million inhabitants, but just 10% out of these 10 millions are of origin of the Emirates. What are the other people?
Well, we're very proud that we have 90% of our inhabitants from other countries, and yet a majority of Emiratis see clear value to migration. This is a global question which we have to ask ourselves today, right? Where is migration going, and how do we perfect the system? And we always made the discussion or the idea that migration should be a positive good for it to be further encouraged. We have a large proportion of economic migrants. We call them residents. They have done an amazing job in contributing to our country, and between the Emirati people and the residents in the UAE, there is such I feel, a positive sentiment on both sides, which is extremely important. In a world where people are going to have to migrate to different countries, Germany included, has this question today. And maybe there are some interesting experiences we've had which might be useful down the road to other countries, being the highest in the world for a number of migrants.
And usually they earn more money than in their hometowns.
Yeah, and opportunities, I think, are created. Oh. Well, the system in the UAE allows... So the UAE is one of the easiest countries in the world to get into today. Getting a visa to the UAE is a very straightforward process. So the accessibility, it's open to all nationalities to come in and work, and that creates a big ability for accessibility for people from the global south to come and migrate to another country in the global south with an economic prospect. So I think it's a positive story of South-South, symbiosis, so to say.
Symbiosis. I think most of these migrants come from India and Pakistan.
We're very proud.
And also Egyptians.
Many from the Arab world. We're very fortunate to have the best and the brightest from the Arab world, from the Indian subcontinent, and from East Asia. Many of these individuals have gone on to found companies, startups, unicorns, they're a consistent part of our story as the UAE.
So you mentioned that Emirates are a very big investor, also in Germany. Can you tell us some examples?
Well, we recently had the announcement of a wind farm, a joint project between Masdar and Iberdrola, which is a Spanish wind company, renewable company, and their plan is to, in the Baltic Sea, develop a wind farm. So this is a very positive story, I think, in which we can get involved in the local German energy question and be an early entrant to the green revolution that's happening in Germany today.
Okay. And what about tourism? You're a good target for tourists. What are the best things that tourists can see?
Well, last year we counted as the fourth highest, biggest country in the world for tourism spending. Tourists spent number 4 in the world in the UAE.
Because the tourists want to spend money, or everything is so expensive?
Well, the UAE actually on cost indices doesn't do very poorly. We have a strong middle class, and a variety of options are available, from the budget, true budget options, until the ultra luxurious 5-star options. And I think this variety of choice attracts a variety of people to come and to kind of do business and to live and to work remotely and to do a whole range of different things. That and the accessibility, the fact that we're so open and it's easy for people to come into the UAE has helped us greatly. So we've, with time, adopted a culture which is just much more open towards people coming in, people living in the UAE. We've gone along the route of more openness is a good thing, and more internationalization is a good thing. And my sense is that really a city like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, these belong to the UAE, yes, but they also now are more and more belonging to the world. You know.
The Emirates is a confederation of 7 states, 7 Emirates. Is it possible that one day there is an 8th one or 9th one?
I think we've had a successful model as the UAE of a unifying and bringing together a range of stakeholders. Like Germany, we're a federal country, and that of course plays an important part in our success. But you know, as UAE, our ambition is to be networked with the rest of the world. I think that is our main passion today. Territorial expansion is not one of them.
Okay.
It's much better to be networked in our opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the world and foreign politics. Are you scared about the situation worldwide and especially in the Arab region? What happens?
Well, our global view on the world is that building opportunity, which requires level-headed policy making, results eventually in people pursuing the path of peace. So we are very much pro-peace. We are very much not, interested or encouraging conflict in the region. On the contrary, we've looked out and sought out opportunities to solve conflicts in our wider region, which we think is very important. And that's become a central part of our foreign policy. How can we solve conflict, bring sides together, and create new opportunities for trade and people to trade in the UAE as well?
Are you optimistic for the future?
Yes, I think the long-term trends that we're seeing around the world. We have declining poverty, we have declining infant mortality. On a whole range of indices, we are doing very well. But on one index, we need to do better, which is our CO2 emissions and the fight against climate change. Hopefully, COP28 in Dubai, we're hoping for a convergence of all the viewpoints together, and we're going to work very hard to do that. And I think, in essence, the world is going towards a better and better place. And sometimes you see things in different sources and you say it's not, but that's what the trends are telling us, that's what the data is telling us. And that the data makes me very optimistic.
What are the best and the worst things in the bilateral relations with Germany? Are there problems that you have to solve, or is everything going easy?
Well, I would say we have a fantastic relationship with Germany. And I would say we have a partnership with Germany, which is built on trust, built on mutual understanding, and built on just creating this synergy in between us. The largest community of Germans in the Middle East live in the UAE. The UAE is the biggest trading destination for German companies. Even the Middle East, AHK, is based in the UAE. So already we have some very good pillars upon which the relationship is built. And, friends, they work together. Sometimes they have differing viewpoints. But overall, the friendship is where the trends are going. It's like where the world is going, So I think this is very exciting for me to be working in a very positive environment with a lot of colleagues here in Germany who have been very supportive and working on a relationship which betters the lives of Germans and Emiratis. So.
As I'm a journalist, of course, I want to have an example for different point of view. What are different points of views between Germany and Emirates?
Well, I think one point of view which you may have seen things which we may not 100% be aligned on, but that's why we have COP28, is the roadmap for climate change and how we're going to get there. But we're getting to an alignment, I think, with time through communication, through open dialogue. I can imagine where we were and where we are today in terms of talking about what needs to be done to save the planet, as one instance in which we saw things maybe a bit differently or not 100% similarly, but that's natural as part of the COP process. It's about converging views together and bringing stakeholders together.
How many people from the Emirates are living in Germany?
Well, we have about 800 citizens here.
800? Yeah. What are they doing?
The majority of them are here for medical treatment.
Pardon me? I couldn't.
A majority are here for medical treatment.
I see.
And we have somewhere in the region of 35 students. It's actually one of the only countries in the world, the UAE, in which there are more Germans in it than there are residents in Germany.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
I don't know about Spain and Mallorca, though.
Okay.
Might be something else.
And for medical treatment, most of them are in Berlin or in Munich?
I think we had a traditional relationship with Bavaria, entirely influenced by, creating economic partnership, the companies which were there traditionally, and the fact that Germany was, divided in half during the Cold War. And that made Bavaria the hub of, Gulf German relations, West German relations at the time. Which is why we have that legacy. But all over Germany is an excellent destination for medical tourism and has an excellent hospital system, world class, and is very well respected and very admired by a lot of Emiratis as a holiday destination, as a place to trade with, as an international power, and it's a very prestigious thing to be an ambassador to Germany in my society. So that's another honor that I have.
And I know that you really have a wonderful embassy in Berlin, Tiergarten. I've been there already, and it's enormous, gorgeous. Okay. Can you remember some anecdote about Germany, or do you have some funny misunderstandings in the German language? So this is my undiplomatic question to you.
Well, I would say a key misunderstanding was, or maybe it's over the false friends which you have between English and German.
Yes. Yeah.
Like eventually and eventual. And,
yeah.
A lot of these words have resulted in some interesting misunderstandings. Mm-hmm. But generally, people speak such excellent English here in Germany. Mm-hmm. You're really one of the most...
Do you really think so?
Yes, yeah. I think so. In Europe, it's one of the most... and especially in Berlin, obviously, which is why...
Yeah, Berlin is the capital and a very international community.
Yeah, so yes. International.
Mm-hmm.
And Germans, they have an international world outlook, curiosity about the world, which is, it makes my job a lot more pleasurable, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Last question to the medical treatment. Many Emirate people come to Germany for medical treatment, but also many doctors from Germany come to the Emirates, isn't it? Don't they?
Of course, Germany is a net exporter of high quality people. And I think, in my opinion, one of the best things Germany does is not cars or, electronics, but people. People. You produce fantastic people, and they're very highly admired and respected all over the world for, the training system, the education system. I think that's true in a lot of fields, and that's why you see a lot of German expertise being exported to a lot of different countries, both in the Gulf, but actually in the global north as well.
Is there something that Germans can learn from Emirates?
It's not my role to say what can be learned by Germans, but I know that we in the UAE are very thrilled at the possibility of us being a great partner for Germany in our part of the world, and through Emirati eyes, Germans feeling comfortable about understanding our part of the world. So I would not say what needs to be learned. I want to say how things can be learned about my part of the world, which is engage with us, let us be the hub for your business, let us be the place that explains the region to you, because we're capable and we've been doing this for a long time for a lot of other people from all over the world.
This was a wonderful diplomatic answer. Thank you very much, Excellency, Mr. Ahmed Alattar. I think you have been here for 1 year so far, so maybe 3 more years, and then your German wife will accompany you?
Well, I am very honored to serve here, and I would like to serve here for as long as I add value to the UAE, to Germany, to our bilateral relations, and be a force for good. That is what the objective of everything that we do in diplomacy should be about. It's about being a force for good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When you are here for a longer time, we will have another interview maybe, and then in German language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know that you really know very good German, but it was a pleasure for you, a pleasure for me to listen to you. Thank you very much. Und ich danke auch Ihnen, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, für Ihr Interesse. Und ich freue mich aufs Wiedersehen am nächsten Donnerstag um 19:30 Uhr bei Diplo International, beziehungsweise heute Diplo International. Auf Wiedersehen.